So this week, I saw a video on TikTok about a lady, a mom. She posted a video about her picking up 17 diapers laying around her house. She has a toddler and a newborn, and she was I believe she was either 5 weeks or 5 days. I think it was 5 days postpartum. I don't remember. She's also a solo parent, and she is recovering from a C-section. And that video went viral, and it brought down I wouldn't even say hate really, but it brought down so much scrutiny and criticism against her as a mother from other moms. And it made me realize that no one is more critical and quick to judge other moms than other moms. And on the flip side of that video too, it sparked a positive move with the mothers who were able to relate to that one video. Because while other moms were not talking about their, having 17 diapers laid around their house, but the 17 diapers was about their struggle, the difficulties that they faced during the early onsets of motherhood. And it made me reflect on my own journey too, because motherhood in the earlier stages was very unpleasant for me. It was very, very unpleasant for me. I was deep in the trenches. And I posted a YouTube short on this channel a couple days ago with just high level what my 17 diapers were. Alright? And when I was compiling that video, I was in tears. And I was in tears because I never thought that I would have gotten out of that phase. It felt very permanent. It felt long lasting. Like I wasn't even convinced that my children, even though I know that they're gonna grow up, they're gonna get older, but the way how I was so in the thick of it, it just feel like it just never did I get in. I am at the gate and nobody's opening the gate for me. It just feel like it wasn't going to get better, right? And for persons who haven't seen that YouTube short that I posted, my 17 diapers was kind of similar to what that mom posted. I didn't have 17 diapers laying around the house, but I was a solo parent. I still am solo parenting, right? And I was healing from a C-section. This was in the middle of a pandemic. I had a newborn, I had a 6-year-old, and I was going through dark times, and I didn't even realize that it was the feelings and the emotions that I felt. I did not realize that it was postpartum depression. I didn't talk about my feelings a lot to my family members because I just felt I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were. Honestly, didn't know what they were, why I was feeling this way. I remember going to my 6 weeks, was it a 6 weeks checkup? No, it wasn't a 6 weeks checkup. 6 weeks checkup is for the baby. Well, for the mom too, but it wasn't it was before the 6 weeks checkup. And it was for them to remove the stitch from the C-section, right? So when I went into my doctor's office, I sat down, and the first thing the man asked me was, he was like, how are you doing? And let me tell you, man, I bawl so till bawling. He asked how the baby was doing, but the fact that he asked about me first, it must make me get really emotional. I say I bawl. I spent probably like a good 2 minutes crying. 2 minutes. It's not a run out of my nose, like just crying because me just couldn't explain what I was going through. I was very sad, I was very depressed, I was lonely, I had this emptiness. And guys, this was before 6 weeks having Zamir. Like, it was just so much that was going on. And even though I had family, my family members chipped in and their dad was there, he was an essential worker, so he wasn't really there, right? And it just made me just so sad, just so sad, you guys. And I told the doctor how I was feeling, and he said to me that what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing is normal. And I bawled some more. I said I bawled some more when the man said what you're feeling is normal, because me really feel like something was wrong with me. And when I had Zach, I had similar emotion, but with Zach, it was more like baby blues. And there's a difference. It was more like baby blues, right? But the second time, I don't know if it was the pandemic, and most of my pregnancy, it was very lonely because we had curfew, place lockdown. I was mainly at home. My partner was still out working because he was an essential worker. So I was pretty much alone throughout this pregnancy. The doctor visits. I think I did 2 ultrasound. The first one, he wasn't able to come in. And when I did the second one, because I guess because of the relationship that we have with the doctor's office, they were able to allow him to come in. But it just, I feel like because of how the pregnancy went, it kind of just it was a build up for what I would have experienced after having the baby. I don't know, but I'm just telling you guys how I felt and what my thought process was and my mindset during that time. And after he told me, I was experiencing symptoms of postpartum, even though they weren't as grave to the point where I needed to be on medication, it was good to know that what I was feeling, the emotions, were normal, and that other women out there actually go through this. And for like the first 2 years being a parent of 2, it was very hard. I was working from home. I started work when I went back to work from maternity leave. I was working from home. While I was pregnant, I was working from home because COVID came to Jamaica, I think sometime in around February, thereabout, late February, and by March, the middle of March, country was on lockdown. So I was working from home for 2 years, and I had to juggle working from home. I've never worked from home before. I have a newborn. I have a 6-year-old who is also going into grade 1, who is also distance learning. It was new. Everything was a new for us, and I was still solo parenting. I have people around me, I have family around me, but I still felt so lonely. Can you imagine? I still felt so lonely. A lot of sleepless nights. There are so many nights where I can remember where I was breastfeeding, because I breastfed Zamir up until age 2. Yeah, I was breastfeeding and baby drop asleep, Zamir drop asleep while I was breastfeeding. I drop asleep, wake up with the entire side at where I was feeding him soak with breast milk. Sometimes the stickiness, the milk, how the milk just drop on him face, it leave the sticky residue on his face. I remember one night I fed him and I put him on my chest. You have to burp the baby, right? Put him on my chest, and he fell off my chest the night. He was maybe around, I think he was probably maybe around 5 months old, 4 to 5 months old at that time. And when I heard the drop, why this is just so hard to really admit, but it's just my story. That was my experience. When I heard the drop the night, I fly up out of the bed, like jump out of the bed. And when I jump out of the bed, like I saw something on the car. He fell on there was a mat in front at the side of my bed. And I jump up and I picked up what I thought was the baby, and it was Jinx. It was the dog. I was frightened. The room wasn't brightly lit. A nightlight was in there, but it wasn't brightly lit. I wear glasses, and my sight is not the best, so we can't see. Jump out of sleep, like, you know, my sight is already foggy. My sight is already foggy without the glasses. So jumping out of my sleep wild, and you know, with little light support, I never realized that I was picking up the dog. Anyways, I picked up the baby and I check him to see if he was okay, and he was fine. And you know, kind of hush him, pat his back, hush him back to sleep, put him back on the breast, and he fell asleep. And most of my nights were like that, wanting to sleep, but I had to force myself to stay up to ensure that I finished feed him to the point where I had to burp him and put him back to sleep, because that experience taught me that I can't do that. I didn't have around the clock support at night, late at night. So I had to ensure that I was cognizant, not dead in sleep, which is something you really can't control, to ensure that that did not happen again. And fast forward to now, I am a dead sleeper to everything else except any noise that my children make. Any noise them make me hear it. No matter how I sleep fast, no matter how deep in my sleep I am, me I go hear it and me I go jump up. So yeah. So with that situation, with the whole 17 diapers thing, it just put me in a zone where I had to just reflect on my own journey for the last couple of days. And it just made me realize that, you know, I'm really grateful. I am really grateful to God that He pulled me through those dark moments, because I never thought that I would have made it. I never thought that I would have made it. I believe for so long that my children deserved a better mother. I felt very inadequate. I felt like I was just unfit. I remember telling myself one night, I sat on my bed, at the edge of my bed, and I was looking at Zamir. He was sleeping, and I wanted to sleep, but it's like I just couldn't sleep. I was just so sad and lonely and just depressed. And I remember just saying to myself that I'm an unfit mother. And it's just so ironic, because people on the outside looking in, and I hear it all the time, even back then, I used to hear it all the time, that Chen, you are a great mother. My mother tell me, my mother-in-law tell me, my sister, my girlfriends, any mother out there who is in the thick of it, whether you are solo parenting or you're a single mom, or you're you know, you have a village, but even though you have a village, you still feel the burden of motherhood. I'm a living testimony that it does get better. It does get better. Your children will grow up, and it does get better. It might not necessarily become easier, because the parent you are when they're an infant is not the parent you will be when they get to the toddler stage, when they get to the teenage stage, and early adulthood as well. Because for each phase in a child's life, it calls for a different type of parenting, because they are becoming their own individuals, right? But I am telling you that it does get better. Give yourself grace and live in the present moment, and appreciate and be grateful for what is in front of you. You have a messy house, who cares? The mess will get cleaned up. As long as your children are being fed, you're nurturing them, you're caring for them, they're happy, and they know that you love them, that is what matters, right? And if you feel like you are so in the thick of it and you need to reach out to someone, reach out to someone. I realize that as a mom myself, I don't have a lot of mom friends. I have a couple, can count on my hands. And it's good when you surround yourself with mom friends, because whether you want to believe it or not, your mom friends will relate to what you're going through. At some point or another, they will relate to what you're going through. And it helps when you have a community of mothers who can help support you. Sometimes you just need somebody to just listen to you, you know. Sometimes, I know that's with me. Sometimes I just really don't want anybody to give me advice. I just really want to just talk to somebody and just have that person listen. And I'm grateful to have people like that in my life now. People who will just listen. They don't necessarily will give me advice. They will probably give me encouraging words, but they would just listen. Right? So surround yourself with people who will support you and ask for help. That's something that I'm learning to do. Asking for help. Okay? All right. Until next time, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.